But let's focus on another company that's coming to market today. Beauty health platform HydraFacial is the one we are talking about here. The company making its debut through a special purpose acquisition company, SPAC, an acronym we've become very familiar with this year, and the company coming to market with Vesper Healthcare Acquisition Corp. Let's bring in Brent Saunders and Clint Carnell. Brent is Vesper's Healthcare Acquisition Corp and former CEO of Allergan. We've also got Clint Carnell, who is the CEO of HydraFacial, and Brian Sazi joining in on the conversation. A packed house here, but Clint, let me put the first question to you because we have seen so many companies choose this route to come to market this year. Why did you find this to be the best way to list, and why now?
Sure, great question. Thanks for having us. First, we were prepared to go public the traditional way, but when Brent approached us, he was our first choice. He's not only coming with capital, but a great reputation, wonderful experience, and frankly, he's been one of the best executives in the category. So I'm excited about partnering with him, and it goes well beyond a SPAC. It goes to a partnership that's really going to unlock HydraFacial.
A product very much on your resume. Does HydraFacial, is that the next Botox?
I'll put that to Brent. He's path with Botox, and so there's some good parts of the playbook, but I think we go much broader, but I'll turn that to Brent because we got the best view.
Yeah, so these are very different products and very different areas and markets. But, I think there are some analogies in that in many aesthetic settings, the only two products listed by name or by brand are Botox and HydraFacial on the menu. Then it will say laser or body contouring or hair removal or filler. And so these are two brands that are commonly used to describe the treatment or the experience or eponyms. That being said, I think HydraFacial can live in a lot of places Botox can't, like retail, potentially in the future at home, in hotel spas like the Four Seasons or Caesar's Palace. So there's a lot of places that HydraFacial can deliver an experience of the best skin of your life, where Botox can't because of the professional component required for Botox injections.
And Clint, we've been talking about this year businesses impacted by the pandemic and how it shifted consumer spend, especially when it comes to cosmetics. And I guess maybe if you're leaving the house less, you don't need to worry as much about how you're looking, or even where, we've seen shorts take over and pants because people are on Zoom calls from the waist up. What does demand look like now that things have started to open up? I know we're kind of in a weird phase right now in the winter, but looking ahead to 2021, how's the pandemic weighing on the business? Sure.
It's a great question. From 16 to 19, we've essentially quadrupled revenues at a 50% CAGR. So we were really a rocket ship. We were flattened in April when the globe shut down, but we've rebounded incredibly well with Q3, Q4 numbers back to 19 numbers. The Zoom boom is real. We're all looking at our face. We're all in your role now looking at our face. And I would say the consumer sentiment for what we do is strengthened. Our leads are up over 40% year over year, and our providers are managing through this. We expect about 65 to 70% of the markets open globally. It's at reduced capacity, and yet our business is as strong as it was in 19, and we're just really excited about what normal will look like, but we're managing through it incredibly well.
Brent, as someone who has spent really just really as much of his entire career in the healthcare space, just staying on the pandemic, where does Brent Saunders fall on the debate, really, and it's starting to rage, on the COVID-19 vaccine and whether these big healthcare companies should profit off the vaccine? What's your take on that?
Yeah, so look, first I would say I'm very pro-vaccine. I hope everyone consults their healthcare provider and goes and gets vaccinated. I think that's good for the world. In terms of profit, look, they invested a lot of money. Yes, they had some government assistance from Warp Speed, but we need to continue to create an appropriate incentive for innovation. Without it, you wouldn't have 30 companies racing to get a vaccine. And so I think it has to be done appropriately. As I understand it, Pfizer is charging the government $19.50 per dose. I think that's a pretty good bargain for such an amazing, miraculous scientific breakthrough and investment at risk that Pfizer made. So I think the system has sorted it out on its own.
And Clint, finally, you talked about the growth opportunities that you're seeing even post-pandemic. Where are you seeing the biggest opportunities outside of the U.S. right now?
Yeah, we often talk about, if you have skin, most people on this globe do, you should be getting HydraFacial. It's the best thing you can do. So we're early innings internationally, really strong in Northern Europe. Just went into France, Italy, and Spain in the last couple of years. Just went into China, really Shanghai, Tokyo. We're just entering South Korea, just entering Brazil. So we expect our outside the U.S. business to be 3 to 4 times larger than our domestic, and it's truly a global phenomenon. You can sit in Tokyo, listen to a man or a woman with their provider, or in Beverly Hills or New York, and the exact same request: healthy skin is beautiful skin, and we term that beauty health. So it's an enormous opportunity, a lot of macro tailwinds behind us, and couldn't be more pleased to have Brent as a partner, and happy that Vesper's bringing this to market.
Well, I haven't left the house in days, haven't left the house in weeks, but perhaps a HydraFacial, something out there to look forward to on the other side of all this. Brent Saunders, Clint Carnell, and Brian Saunder, appreciate y'all for taking the time to chat today.
Thank you, everyone.